Welcome back to my channel. It is a new month, which means I have a new TBR list to dive into, and I hope that you all will pick up a copy of some of these and join me and we can read them together. So, as we know, this February we are celebrating what we celebrate every February, regardless of who tells us otherwise. And so there will be a theme with the main books that I'm reading with all of the authors. This first one is Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. It has been on my radar for quite some time, but recently popped back up onto my radar once everything was going down in LA. There is a great Octavia Butler scholar over on TikTok. I will put her name here. And she just really inspired me to take this book and move it to the top of my TBR list. Oftentimes, I've heard folks refer to Octavia Butler as like a prophet in terms of a lot of the things that she talked about in her writing have come true. And my understanding is that she always pushed back and said that no, all she did was look at data and allow data to inform her storytelling decisions, which is vaguely frightening, eye-opening, interesting, if nothing else. And so I'm intrigued to see the data points that she amassed 30 years ago to create this work that takes place in this book starting, I think, in 2024. So I'm intrigued to see what those data points are, how she crafted the story, and is there anything in the story or in those data points that we can maybe get ahead of? Like, what can we learn from this data that she was able to put together and craft this story, and then maybe allow it to inform choices that we're making now to hopefully get a potentially different outcome. I'm not sure. I haven't read it yet, but I have a gut feeling we're not talking about like lots of sunshine and roses and, you know what I mean, skipping through the streets with joy. So we'll see. But I'm super excited about that. And one of the book clubs that I'm in is reading that also this month. So I cannot wait to take that robust conversation and then bring it here to you all as well. The second book that I'm reading this month is Harriet Tubman Live in Concert by Bob the Drag Queen. I am a huge Bob the Drag Queen fan, and I am so upset that they were voted off the Traders. Listen, that should be a whole other video. I thought that they brought so much like pizzazz and character and just like, anyways, this is an advanced reader copy. So this book does not come out until March, but I am so excited to dive in. I think it will offer, I hope, like a very unique form of levity through some of these titles that I've chosen this month. But I also know that it will shine a very like harsh light and critique on this modern world is what I'm assuming. Yeah, I cannot wait. Bob used to perform at a bar just down the street, and I have missed seeing them here in the city. So I am very excited to dive in. The third book that I'm reading, am finally getting around to this, and I'm so excited that I've like forced to give myself an excuse to read it, and that is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. It won the Pulitzer. I've like not heard anyone say anything negative about it ever. I loved the Nickel Boys. I am so excited to dive into this. I think it is going to be heavy, but I am very much ready for his take on this. And I also we got a little theme here with our good friend, you know, Harriet with Bob's book, and then, you know, over here in the Underground Railroad. So I'm very intrigued. I'm very excited. I don't know if I have anything else to say particularly about the Whitehead other than that, like, yeah, it's supposed to be amazing. So like, I'm assuming it's just going to be amazing. Does it make sense? This final book I have on good faith is the Good Morning America book club pick for February, and that is Junie. I'm super intrigued by this. It is apparently set in the South, right around the Civil War, I think is my understanding. And it is a story about an enslaved woman, and she there's some sort of inciting incident, and it calls back the ghost of her sister, and like madness ensues. And so, listen, I don't know if I would have originally reached for it, but I'm super intrigued to see where it takes me. I'm excited by it. I think that it sounds very unique, and yeah, I'm intrigued. Okay, so those are the four main books that I'm reading this month. I try to do one a week. But that said, and maybe this is my own mm, hubris, like because I was able to get through so many in January, I'm like, well, what if I like do a bunch of bonus books for February? And so to that end, like here are a couple books that I might be sneaking in amongst these four main titles. One of them I know for sure that I am is White Nights by Dostoevsky. It had such a huge moment on the TikToks, and I'm like, listen, it's short, like let's see what's going on here, let's see what it's serving. And my understanding is that it's a love story, I think, so like that'll be like a nice Valentine's Day kind of title, so we'll see. Another book that is having a moment on the social media right now is I Who Have Never Known Men. And my understanding, it's this dark dystopian tale. And we'll see. It feels to me like it kind of goes like a piece with the Parable of the Sower in terms of like kind of like the dystopian speculative fiction piece. So we'll see. I don't know if I've like steeled myself enough for more of that in February, but that's kind of like on my short list. And then also someone in my comments recently was talking about Jan Foss because I loved Septology. It's like, isn't, I don't know, it's somewhere behind me. Loved. It was my favorite read of 2024. And so they were in my comments and they were talking about his work, the trilogy. So, or just trilogy, I guess. So that one is also on my short list. So we'll see if I'm able to get to that. Also, given everything that's going on in the world, considering we're just having lots of, joy in the sky, Leave the World Behind. So we shall see. We shall see. Again, this to me is kind of a piece with the I Who Have Never Known Men. Like, are we mentally in a place where we want to take those on? Unclear. Yeah. So all of that to say, I have the four main titles that I'm reading: Parable of the Sower, Harriet Tubman Live in Concert, Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad, Junie, and then definitely Dostoevsky's White Nights for Valentine's Day. And then potentially Leave the World Behind, I Who Have Never Known Men, and maybe Trilogy by Jan Foss. It just depends. Listen, it sounds like I've gotten myself into quite a heavy February, but so is what happens in the world, I guess, what's going to happen in our reading. This first video of the week is short, but I just wanted to kind of set the scene for what I'm going to be reading in February and give you all a chance, hopefully, to pick up a copy so that we can talk about them together at the end of the month. So yeah, let me know what's on your TBR list. Let me know if any of these have like made their way on there, or if you're reading anything that's happy that I could replace maybe some of this dark fiction with. That would be great. Okay, I will see you soon and we can talk more books.